So I'm going to do two things that I don't usually do on my channel today. Number one, I'm going to review a comedy show. Number two, I'm reviewing it on my way to work because I have very, very little time and I want to upload this video today. I want to talk about the new Chappelle Sticks and Stones. Let me start off by saying that if you ever watched the Dave Chappelle show from the 2000s, you're gonna love this. You're absolutely gonna love this, okay? It's hysterical. It's refreshingly politically incorrect. I mean, literally, it feels like a breath of fresh air at this point because it's almost like people aren't allowed to do observational humor anymore. And Dave Chappelle went all out. He said, "Fuck it," and he did it. And it was a wonder to behold. Well, of course, as one could probably anticipate, he's been getting like ripped apart by like every SJW magazine in the world. Also, I went on to Rotten Tomatoes. This show has a 0% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. Well, I checked a little deeper into this. That's based on 5 reviews, okay? Only 5 people apparently saw this, professional reviewers. They're probably literally the only 5 people who actually had a legitimate beef with it. Well, no, that's not true. There are probably a lot of people who had problems with it because everybody's super sensitive today. But like, these were the 5 who gave it like an absolute, like a 0, you know what I mean? And then I look and the audience score, there is no audience score. It's unavailable. I mean, if I didn't know any better, I'd almost kind of think that they were trying to set him up for failure. I'd almost kind of think that they were deliberately screwing with the audience score so that people would be deterred from watching this. They'd hear that it was some kind of like a hateful, evil, like, it's like he uses the F word, he uses the N word. All right, I mean, he kind of gets a pass on that. I get it because he's black, but his whole point about the whole thing was just like how crazy society's gotten and how everybody is so gung-ho butthurt about their own race, their own religion, their own sexual orientation. And Dave Chappelle does what Dave Chappelle does. He makes fun of everybody, you know? And he's pointing out, he points out how uncomfortable it's gotten amongst certain groups. He calls them the alphabet people. Watch, now that's gonna become a hate term, but you know, he's talking about the LGBTQ community and how they kind of fight amongst themselves. And he's talking about, you know, he knows people who are gay. He has many friends who are gay, and this is his own observational humor. And as a person who also knows many gay people, it's true. It's very true. He, you know, and don't get me wrong, he reams white people, but he's always done that. That's one of the things I've loved about Dave Chappelle. He does some of the best white jokes I've ever heard. You know, I like making fun of myself, and if you can't do that, then frankly, I mean, I don't know how the hell you're gonna get through life. But yeah, he talks about like poor white people and like, you know, how there's kind of like a heroin epidemic. And he's sort of like, you know, now I understand what white people were talking about, you know, with the crack epidemic in the black community. I don't give a shit, you know? And it's sort of like, okay, I mean, fair. I mean, it's fair and it's funny. And he also talks about like poor white people, you know, it's like rich white people are like, you know, we're too good for all of this. And then black people are just kind of like, these are my circumstances. And white people, or poor white people, are basically like, this shouldn't be happening to me. And it's funny, you know? I don't mind being ragged on, especially when there's some semblance of truth to the humor. It was really quite brilliant. But, you know, and another thing is, like, you know, he talked about, for example, I don't want to give the whole show away, all right? But I'm just giving you, throwing a few examples out there, all right? He talks about the mullet case. I probably shouldn't say that out loud. They'll probably, like, mark my video and not upload it. But he talks about the case. Or just say smola, as he says. Dude's a scumbag. I mean, like, let's be real. He's a scumbag. He manufactured a thing to further, like, a racial divide in this country. He's a fucking scumbag. Just like a lot of the media, most of the media, in fact, that does literally the exact same thing. They deliberately try to fan the flames of racism so that everything's in disarray all the time. Divide and conquer. It's the most ancient tactic in the world. But at any rate, I went off on a tirade there. He was talking about Jet and how the two guys in MAGA hats who attacked him were like, I think they were like Nigerian or something like that. And Dave Chappelle goes like, those people weren't just black, those people were black. He's like, and he did this thing. He said, like, you just imagine, you know, them stepping around the corner from the dark and saying like, this is MAGA country. It was just like it was so funny, man. It was really hysterical. But the problem is, nobody has a sense of humor anymore, you know? Everybody's butthurt about something, and Dave Chappelle was very brave, I feel, for doing this. And this is gonna spur a revolution, because as much as Rotten Tomatoes is trying to sweep it under the carpet, like, shh, you don't like this, this is hate speech, you don't like this. As much as they try to say that, at the end of the day, people are gonna watch it all the more, you know? And now other comedians are going to start having a little bit more balls, and they're going to be like, you know what, I've had enough of this. I'm a comedian. I want to do what comedians do. And that's exactly what they're going to do. And I really do. I hope this spurs a freaking revolution. I hope that all these like self-righteous, hyper woke, like unfunny, talentless, Hollywood cocksucking douchebags, you know, I hope they go away. I really do. Or they learn to lighten up and do some real comedy. But at any rate, Dave Chappelle's Sticks and Stones, no coincidence that the show was named Sticks and Stones, by the way. Dave Chappelle's Sticks and Stones was a freaking masterpiece of comedy. I think it will go down in history as such. And it has my highest recommendation. I think everybody should go and check this out before, like, I don't know, the Clinton mafia starts like strong-arming Netflix to take it down. All right, guys, take it easy.